boys and girls. It's us again. Another week, another Joe Zone. What do we got? Okay, so I just lied. Thank you.
Gotta love that kid.
Yeah, I know. I got it right. It's in the contract. I signed it, so what do I got to say, right? I mean, what the heck are we doing this week, anyways?
Oh no!
We've been talking about a bunch of stuff. I have to be perfectly honest with you. I got very, very, very sick this week. I'm still not quite square with the world, but it was a rough week, and now apparently the little ones got it, and so I don't know, not great. But I've got something I wanted to talk about, but I don't know how long that'll last, and I wanted to show you a couple of things. And I have one more thing to show you next week because I actually got around to ordering it today, and I expect to have it this week. So I know Shane's got some stuff that he wanted to show you. I guarantee you Mr. John has some stuff he wants to talk about and show you. So let's we're running late tonight, so let's just jump right in. What do you think? Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
I will hand it to Mr. John Maddox.
Hi, everybody. Oh boy, been quite a week. I apologize once again. I hadn't had a chance to go through the next issue of Toy Fair, so I don't have any of that for tonight. So give everybody another break, build up the anticipation. So yesterday I did break down and put together the condor that I had in the box. And here it is. All put together and complete. And
Nice.
I'm going to tell you, these black stripes on this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces down the side here. And getting those things even to where it comes out right at the end. I didn't know which side to start with. I started here, started there. I kept peeling them off, re-sticking them. And I finally got them to where I guess they look decent. I do kind of wish I just waited about putting the stickers on it, especially on this side here. Because this sticker here, this main one right here that's got the cobra right in the middle, it was bent. And it was bent over where it won't lay flat against it because it's curved anyhow, but the bend was in the opposite direction. So I tell you what I ended up finally doing, and it's still not completely sticking on there, but I went and got some two-sided tape, cut it in small strips and put behind it, and it's at least it's keeping it down. I need to do a little work right there, that one. But the only thing is, I mean, the stickers were actually in decent shape. They weren't gummy, but the sticky wasn't. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't. It was sticky, but it would stick, and then it would like come off of the sticker when you stick it over and try to pick it back up. And as you can see, then the sticky would get on my fingers, and it kind of. I don't know if you can see it. The black looks dull. I don't know if you can see it right there. See, like right there. See how dull that looks. It's not shiny. Even on the back section, this thing's so big, it's hard to hold it over. I don't know if you can tell. See, it's like it's splotchy. You see it right there?
Yeah. Huh.
So I wished, and probably what I'll end up doing is like going to Toy Hats or something and getting some repo stickers and just taking these back off. That's why I wished I'd left them on there and just left them on the original sticker sheet. And but I mean, surprisingly, it looks. Other than that, it looks good because I did get the stickers on straight now that I'm older and I can, have a better, steadier hand. And when you're a kid, you just stick them on there because you're excited you want to play with it. And you get them all. You see a bunch of Joe vehicles with crooked stickers, and you don't hardly ever see them straight. So I took pride in knowing that I got them on there straight. I just don't know how well they're going to stay on there. These black ones, but other than that, I mean the things. Like I said, somebody had opened the bag and took the figure out, but all the rest of it was still in there, still on the trees. They left the file card for the Arrowbite. I don't know why, but you think if they got the figure, they would have took the file card out as well. but yeah, I always liked that vehicle. It was cool. I had one a while back here a few years ago, and I kept it for a little while, but it was yellowed, and I ended up turning around and selling it. It wasn't bad yellowed, but it was yellowed some, and that was before I got to playing with this Salon 40, and I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. I think Shane's going to talk about that some. I will say this: I was having such a pain, like I said, lining this strap of stickers up down through here, and I got it. So I ended up starting at the front, working my way back. Got it on there, and then I went to the other side, and I realized that this part right here actually was twisted. I mean, it'll twist about that much. And I got to looking, and I realized it was twisted, so I had to peel it all these parts off and put it back on there again. After I straightened it out, I'm like, man, I had them all lined up, and then it turned out that it was twisted. So that was a little aggravating. But I don't know. It doesn't really look right without the black stripes. I mean, it looks too plain, but then again, like I said, the blotchiness of the stickers just kind of it just makes it look old. So I'm definitely probably going to replace them. Other than that, I'm happy with it. I mean, the canopies are all. I mean, they were still on the tree. The canopies were still on the tree and everything. So it still had all the booklets that come with it, the instructions and all that. I got it I got it at Joe Fest back during 2020, back during the COVID when I had it in September. I picked it up and I picked up the Stealth Bomber. The Stealth Bomber is also, the box has been opened, but the figure is still in it and it's still completely sealed. So I'm debating on it, but I'm probably going to crack it open later on too. Probably next week whenever I get some more time. But because I doubt I'll ever sell them, so why not just go ahead and open them and put them together? Relive our childhood a little bit there, and
no, that's cool.
But so anyway, yeah, I did that. I don't really have a lot to talk about tonight. I did get to thinking about it, so I thought maybe we might just look at a couple of a Joe and a Cobra vehicle, do a little comparison.
You have a question here, John.
I do. What's the question?
On the screen.
Do you have the figure as well? If so, what kind of Viper is he called and what's he look like? I do. It's called the Aero Viper, and it just so happens I do have one. I had just the figure before I got the Condor. I do not have him in here with me. I could pull him up off yojoe.com and show him, but if I remember right, he's green. He's got like a green. I think it was kind of a dark green outfit, and I think it was a gold helmet, if I remember right, that you can put on him. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
I got to tell you that I always liked that plane, but it being white, it always struck me as really strange that was a Cobra aircraft because everything else was black or green or blue or purple. I mean, but the white jet for Cobra was always kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of was. I think it would have looked cool in a red and black format.
It would have been cool, yeah.
Yes.
Because it's funny. Every time I see one, I think it's a Joe jet. I don't think a Cobra every time I see one.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Let's see. That was 89.
Something like that, right?
Or was it 8? Let's see.
I got him right here.
There he is. Oh, you got him? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, by the time you said that, I pulled him up. Yep, that's him. Yeah, it's kind of a dark green. He's got a light gray vest and a gold helmet, and the helmet does come off, and he's got basically just the regular, like the Cobra, mask where all you can see is his eyes, I believe, if I remember right. Well, I had that pulled up there. I just went away. Isn't that right, Shane? Yeah. Oh, no, wait. Okay, yeah, he's got the goatee. That's right. It just kind of covers. It's really not much of a mask. It's just got a thin line that goes over his nose.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's weird. Huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, not much of a disguise, was it? I guess he just keeps the helmet on. I don't know. So anyway, was that all the questions, Shane?
Yes, for now.
You're going to have to tell me. I can't see these comments on my iPad.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay. When I do, I can't tell who they're from. But so, a couple of
It's
weeks
actually
ago.
a bandana he's got on underneath the helmet.
Do what now?
It's like a bandana he's got on under the helmet.
Ah, okay. It's been a while since I looked at him. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I picked this up a couple of weeks ago. The Cobra Maggot.
Maggot.
1987. Man, that's a lot. Okay. And, I got to thinking about it. So here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to look, and now before we start, all the people watching and everybody else, I want you to comment, and I want you to think. Don't think about, well, I had that one when I was a kid, so I prefer it. Don't think about any of that. Think about the actual vehicle, and if you were going into a battle, which would you prefer to be in? Okay. So I want to compare. Cobra had this in 1987.
Yep.
All right. So it disconnects there. Right? So you still got one driver here who basically his head is sticking up. He's got a gun with a radar dish, I guess, for targeting. And he's got a gun here. So you got two guns here. I think this is going to be a no-brainer when we look at this. But okay, so there's that part of the vehicle, right? So then you got the second part of the vehicle, which is really just it's basically just a control center where you could have, like, a guy you got 1 foot peg there, 2 here, so 3 guys could stand there operating. I don't know what they're operating. There's computers. I mean, there's no weapons on this whatsoever. So you're going. I mean, you're just stuck out there operating computers and running scenarios, I guess. So you might want to pull this thing over to the side. So you got that part. See if I can get it back together. Right, there we go. And then you got the third part, which comes off, and how they remove this during battle, I have no idea. There's no crane or anything to lift it off there.
That'd take one of the 3 timeouts.
Do what now?
That'd take one of their 3 timeouts for the half.
Oh, they did. So it would set up basically on these legs, but you did have, now the thing that's going for it, you got this humongous, awesome cannon here that's like, or I don't know if it's a laser cannon or what. It's got a real small barrel at the end, but that's definitely long range.
Yep.
Right. So they're going to be shooting something far away, I guess. I don't think you'd want to be up close to something when you're immobile. So you would probably want to be using it for from distance shooting. And so that's your Cobra maggot. So basically, it's got a cannon and a gun on the front part. On this part, the back part's basically just a control center, and then you got a cannon here. Now, and I never really thought about this, but basically, what was it, 1980? 88 or 89? I don't know. I get confused in those years.
Apparently, they use it to check Cobra's Twitter, Corey says.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Joe come out with basically the same vehicle.
Yep.
I mean, when you think about it,
Yeah.
the Mean Dog done the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the Mean Dog, you had, let's see. How does he come apart here?
Don't do that. I'm waiting for the snap. I don't.
Yeah. I'm trying to supposed to come snap right off.
Oh, here it is. Crack.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, it's off.
So anyway, no, wait a minute. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I think this whole thing comes out here if I remember right. Yeah, okay. I got it now. Hold on. This right here is supposed to.
See, now you do this, and now I have to buy both of those too. It's not really
There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's how it comes off right there.
You need maggot.
All right, so this is the front. Now, unlike the maggot, it's only got one little gun up here. It don't have a cannon with a radar on it. But, however, the guy sitting in there, he can stand up or he can sit down. Plus the fact you have some more armory, so you're more covered in this than you are in the. I'm not that familiar. I had the Maggot when I was a kid, but I didn't have this one, so I'm not that familiar with it. Okay. But it actually holds 3 guys.
Nice.
And I guess for some reason, right in the middle, there's an escape hatch. I don't know what the deal is with this.
That's where you throw the grenades out that they throw in.
I guess. So you got that.
Taco Bell dispensary.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Or to drop
All
mines.
right. So you got that part. Then you got the part that was basically just a computer on the Maggot. It has rocket launchers on each side with 5 rockets. So you got 10 rockets there you can launch. Other than that, really, you got look at her. Hey, that part comes off too. How about that?
Nice.
I don't know if it's supposed to or not, but it does. I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to. I see. Now I see what I'm supposed to slide. You're supposed to slide this back when you take the front off.
Oh, there you go.
And then slide. And then it's a track in there. Like I said, I never had one of these, so I never really fooled.
No, I didn't either, actually.
I mean, either.
But it does only seat 1. So on the Maggot, you can seat 1 in the front and then 3 in the back. On the Mean Dog, you can seat 3 in the front and 1 in the back. So it's still carrying 4 people apparently. So then you had the third part, which also carried 1, had smaller legs. It is a bigger cannon, but it's not as long as the one on the Maggot. To me, it's not as impressive as the one on the Maggot, you know. It's and I'm not sure. I think this is supposed to. Oh, that slides off. Then supposed to. I guess it stands. I think it's supposed to slide down. I'm gonna have to get the directions and look it up. I think that's how it's supposed to. Not very sturdy, I don't think.
So that's like a gun pod?
Yeah, I guess. See, it kind of.
Hmm.
I can't. Here, let me show. Okay, there you go. I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to go. I wouldn't push down on it. I probably wouldn't leave it like this very long because it's probably those little things are going to break off. By the way, the most common missing piece off the Mean Dog is this little tip right here.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that little thing.
Good gun.
That's usually what's missing if something's missing off of it. It does have the, where you can turn it.
Nice.
And it falls off.
And then it falls off, right? Yeah. What in the sandbox? That's the
It's like a Gatling gun, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. That's the Mean Dog. And this goes right back in here. So if you were in battle, which of these 2 vehicles would you prefer to be in battle in?
Maggot.
Jeez. Yeah.
The Maggot?
Yeah. No, I say the Mauler.
I'll say that the Mean Dog is. I mean, it seems like it's more armored. I mean, obviously the guys in the front, are protected, unlike in the Maggot. I guess you can look down there. And the Mean Dog does have more weaponry on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the ammo.
But I think with the Maggot, it's more of a range attack vehicle.
Yeah, you're at a distance.
Yeah. I guess it's the Maggot's sort of a cross between the Mean Dog and the Thunderclap, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, probably just knowing that I'm being shot at, I'd probably rather be in the Mean Dog because it's got better coverage.
I think so. Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, if you look at the stun, Cobra was not famous for its retirement plan. I mean, it's not. They weren't.
I bet you they had a huge turnover rate.
Oh yeah.
Well, apparently G.I. Joe wasn't big on good old country boys because they just stick cross country right up on top of that. Have it too in the wide open.
I know.
I mean, no cover whatsoever on top of that thing.
Yeah, might as well giving him a blaze orange uniform. Here.
Man, I'm trying to figure out.
You got a comment, John?
What's that?
You got a comment?
Put the vintage toy down and factor is at 10, you are going to break something. I would- hey, these, one thing about 80 toys, they were built pretty tough. So
See, now I'm going to have to get both of those. I was going to skip those. Now I'm going to have to get those. That's pretty lousy.
they're pretty cool. I mean, the Mean Dog, it does look cool. I mean, it does look more military than the Maggot. But
What was the other one? What was the other one? The Ravager? It had the V2 rock and roll cover art. Do you remember who I'm talking about? The big tank looking thing.
It was from the Slaughters Marauders. Is that the one you're talking about?
Maybe. It was tan, or desert tan.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that big.
It's a good sized vehicle. It looked like it
Yeah.
was articulated, had multiple tracks.
It's the one that had the two cannons, and usually the pegs that hold the two cannons on the front are usually broke on it when you find it.
Yeah. The one thing I remember seeing it in stores, and it was past my Joe period, but I remember V2 rock and roll
Right.
on the cover bar and the cover art, and I always liked the cover art of that vehicle. Was it the Ravager? What was that thing called?
If you hadn't asked me, I probably could have told you.
That must have been like 90 or 91,
I
right?
think it was 90 or 91. Let me see if I can find it here. No, the General come out in 90.
Yeah, the
Now
General's.
that was a machine, buddy. Let me tell you, I don't know how much maneuverability that thing.
Yeah, that thing was a landing pad.
In the cartoon, it had pretty good maneuverability, but hey, I just can't see something that big being able to move like that.
No,
Let's see.
What year did you say it was?
could be 90 or 91,
It
Shane.
must be closer to 92 because I'm not seeing.
No, was it that late? Maybe it was.
Maybe it was 89. Let me go back one here.
Big articulated tan looking thing. It was track driven. It had like 4 separate tracks on it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I cannot think of the name of it for nothing. I can't find it for nothing. Oh wait, here it is. The Raider.
The Raider, because Repeater is on that cover on that box too, right?
Let's see. Let me see if I can pull it up. This right here is what you're talking about.
That's it, right there.
Yep, the Raider.
Yep, that's a cool
Oh,
vehicle
yeah.
too.
Yeah, and like I said, these guns
Yeah.
Was that
right
90 or 92 that was out?
usually if you find it, one of the two piece pegs that hold that gun on is broke on both sides.
Yeah.
Nearly every one I've ever seen.
Yep.
Unless you can find a complete one that's somebody took real good care of.
Like I said, you got rock and roll hanging off the side of that thing, and that's what always struck me. Every time I saw that in the stores, it's like, oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that cover art.
It was 89 because that was the year.
89.
That was the year that the version 2 Rock and Roll come out. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it had who else was on there? It had looks like the thing what you got? I think it was Hot Seat. Hot Seat was a driver for that one. I remember,
Hot
right?
seat, huh? Cool.
Yeah.
Same year, they also made Destro's Razorback that looked almost like that for the Iron Grenadiers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Hot Seat.
Yeah.
Had the bright orange pants.
He's got his hot pants on, yeah.
I don't know what the deal was with that, but that was when it was starting to get into that crazy stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
89, it started transitioning there, and of course, he had a helmet where it had only you could only see one of his eyes because the other had like a targeting thing.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Like a Borg or something, right?
that's him coolly walking away after he blows up. doing the yeah, I'm bad kind of walk, So, yeah, I don't know. Somebody's like I said, once it gets past 88,
Yeah.
I'm good on the vehicles up through 87 because that's where I kind of stopped in 87. I did dabble a little in 88 and 89, but not mostly with the figures like that.
Right. I like that vehicle, though. I do like that one.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one that I don't have. That's on my bucket list of many of the other the vintage stuff. But, Right now, I'm working on the. I'm like most people. I'm working on the 82 to 87, and then once I get those, then I'll expand, I guess. But but yeah, so yeah, the one thing now the mean dog does have a tow hitch, at least where it can haul something. The maggot does not.
What would have it had pulled that late though? I mean, what did they have for towables that late? Not much, really, right?
Not really. Probably, I guess, for older stuff. For the kids, it's still.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the stuff that they inherited from their cousin or something. Yeah.
This was the Razorback. If y'all can see that.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's an Iron Grenadiers.
Let me,
Yeah, and that thing would like bow up like a. It was kind of it was a weird vehicle, but it was cool.
yeah, but it was the counterpart to it. I guess you would say.
Interesting color though, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of a goldish color.
Yeah.
Goldish orange. It was kind of in line with the Iron Grenadier, the black and the gold. And
Yeah, it's just a lot of gold.
Yeah.
What did you just buy back there, anyways?
Why?
Yeah, you're knocking my stuff over. I'm asking you what you just bought back there.
I tripped on a piece of wood.
Thank you.
Because you leave that piece of wood sticking out under the flag table.
I'm going to mute this in a second, boy.
I messed around this week, and because I've been looking at it for a long time, and Dave's trying his best to get me into these DC figures. I think all these on clearance and all that. But I always liked this one, even when they done it in the DC universe. But this Death Storm is probably my favorite McFarlane.
He's cool looking figure.
DC figure that they put out. I don't know why. I mean, the pose and everything. I really kind of hate to take him out of the box. So I just kind of like. I mean, he looks good just like that.
You can leave him in there. I have to be honest with you. That Atrocitus figure isn't that great. So I mean, it's. I mean.
Yeah. I did see Necron one time.
He's a nice figure.
And I saw him once or twice, but I hadn't seen him. I didn't see him very, very much.
Necron was shipped with Bane, so
was he?
Yeah, there just wasn't a lot of those, and Necron's a nice figure too.
I did see the Sinestro Corps Batman. They had two of him at the Walmart, the Target on 280.
Yep.
Down past the summit there.
Yep.
Give them time. I'm sure they're going to get to.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be there soon.
Yeah, and I must say I'm kind of looking forward to Iron Grenadier and the Iron Grenadier Destro. I think both of those will be cool in the classified. I really do. I'm trying to think. Dark One probably would be pretty cool in the classified.
Dark One could be cool. Yep. Yeah. What is it? Voltar.
Voltar, the general. Yeah, the one that had another pet. He had the Vulture.
Oh yeah! Hey, there you go.
Vulture or Buzzard, one I can't remember.
Yeah, either or. Yeah. That's an interesting thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They seem to be about these pets and all right here lately. You know. So.
I always liked that line. It's something new, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I got to give them credit. When that came out, if I'm not mistaken, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, by all means, that was kind of running parallel to the Battle Force 2000 line on the Joe side, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's kind of right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as counterparts go, I got to tell you, the Iron Grenadiers had it all over Battle Force 2000.
Apparently so. Only one of them survived in the comic. The rest of them got killed.
Yeah, they got wiped out pretty good.
I think which one was it? Was it Knocked Out or Blaster? Blaster, I think, is the one that.
I think.
Is he the one that only one out of the six survived? They killed all the rest of them.
Right. I haven't. Yeah.
I don't think DJ come like a year later. They were like expanding on it because he was supposed to have been part of it too, but I don't think he was ever in the comic.
I don't remember.
I can't remember if he was or not.
I literally just today finished volume 9, and I got to wait a couple of weeks before I try to find in volume 10. And then I'm good until 14 and 15, which 15 does not come up. So, I haven't gotten to the big. I'm still in that weird range where G.I. Joe monthly comic book was a toy catalog. Remember? That was a couple of years
Yeah.
though when Hasbro was just pushing toys. They weren't pushing a story arc.
Yeah.
And I'm almost at that, like that one issue 100 where it starts getting more grown up.
Yeah.
So
What was the one issue that had it had the DEF because it had Headman, Cesspoo from the Eco Warriors, and then Slice and Dice from the Ninja Force. And there was one issue where every page would be 3 frames of each. It was like 3 different battles going on at the same time, and each page would have 3 frames of each battle.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you'll probably
I'm not
get
sure
to
I
it.
ever read it.
Yeah, I think it was there in the early 100s.
Well, maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting the way they done that one issue. And I don't think there was a lot of dialogue in it, if I remember right.
Might not have been.
It's been a while. But,
Cool.
Cesspoo's an interesting character. I suspect we'll see him in Classified.
So yeah, now that we're talking about that, if anybody comes across a IDW volume 15 of G.I. Joe Classics that's not $400, let me know, because that's just insane. I mean, that's absolutely nuts.
Oh,
Yeah,
that Golden Age Batman Omnibus Volume 7, I think it is. It's
Yeah.
got the red hood.
Yeah.
$800, and then you
Yeah,
can't even find it.
Some of this stuff is crazy. It just is. So
I don't understand why put out that many of the others and you want to short one volume. Why? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I think it was some kind of weird marketing scheme. I really don't.
But why not go and reprint it? I mean, you got people looking for it.
Well, everybody's kind of speculating that Skybound is going to reprint again, but I don't know if they are. It's I want to get the books. How's that? I'm not going to risk waiting 2 or 3 years for Skybound to get around to it.
Right.
And that I want to read them again. So I'm kind of getting back into this, not kind of, but I'd like to read them again before 2026 when Mr. Kirkman might get around to volume 15. I don't, you do the math on it as it stands right now. There's 30 volumes if you do 10 issues a book. So how long would it take him to get to volume 15, 14, 15? I'm not interested.
Maybe he'll turn around and do like more of an omnibus style where you got 20 or 25 per book.
They did that. IDW started those hardcover omnibuses, but I think they only did like 4 or 5 of them, and those are, if you can find them, they're in pretty lousy shape at $100.
Yeah.
So whatever, I guess. If anybody sees one, let me know. How's that? Cool. I like seeing that maggot. I never had the maggot. I never had the condor actually, because I was out at that point.
Me too.
Yeah, Condor was at it. Like I said, it was what 80, 89. So it was after.
Yeah.
I was out. Like I said, I remember getting the Snake Eyes version 3 Snake Eyes because he's the only one I could ever actually find in the store.
Right.
I never found version 1 or version 2 in the store. I think I had version 1 that I found at a flea market for like $2, but he didn't have his weapons or anything. And,
I remember in 1982, I found, and I have to be honest with you guys, I don't remember if he was a straight arm or swivel arm. I want to say swivel arm, so it may have been 83. I found the original Snake Eyes. I found 2 of them at JCPenney in Brunswick, right next to the Navy base. And one of them, somebody had torn the package and took the satchel and the Uzi out of it and left the figure. The other one was complete. That is the only time I ever saw V1 Snake Eyes in the store at all.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it was way into 1986 before I found the V2 Snake Eyes on the pegs. He had been out a long time, and I had kind of given up on ever seeing one. And just before Christmas, I think it was an odd case that somebody found. And it was, like I said, it was a year after release. I found that one. So, boy, it was great times, though. That was so much better. That was so much better.
Yeah.
Back then, we couldn't go to the store like every other day looking for them like we do now.
No. Nope.
I remember it was like once every 2 weeks we would go to Gadsden, and that's where Walmart and Kmart were. We didn't have anything in store back then. We got our Kmart didn't come in the center until '84, I think, before we finally got a Kmart.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
For me, it was once a month. We got to go once a month to town, and it was like everybody loaded up. Let's go to town.
Yeah.
Once a month. I'll never forget it as a kid.
Yeah.
But
it
it
was
was
always a special trip on Saturday. We'd go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're going to Gadsden. That was like going to the big city, you know, for us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
We would go to the Gadsden Mall and eat at Morrison's Cafeteria, or we'd go down to Rainbow City. They had a place called King's Table that was all you could eat buffet. We'd eat at one of those two places, then we'd go to Kmart, and then it had to have been in '82 because that's when Walmart came into Glencoe. It was down in Glencoe where Ollie's is at now. Because that's where I found the Mobat with Steeler was at that Walmart, and that's the Walmart that I saw a flag at. I never saw Walmart at any other flag other than that.
Mm.
And
Very cool. Very cool. You bought that Mr. Freeze, didn't you, Corey? I'm pretty sure I saw you. That's a nice figure. Jeez. You just got to start the crap, man. You know? Just gotta start.
trip to town was uphill in the snow both ways.
Sure was. But no
only during
shoes.
the wintertime. During the summertime, you had to wade through rattlesnakes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Crap, your answer.
I saw it.
Yeah, we never had no shoes on either.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I once walked out in the snow with no shoes on, no shirt on, no pants on, and I froze.
I left him out there as long as I could, but he came back inside.
You realize I was the one who opened the door.
There's this little thing on there called a lock. It worked really well.
Oh,
I
well.
just came
Find
out
you a pole up,
like
paint it up like a
snowman.
lollipop, let him lick it.
He's not getting the joke because he didn't get it then either. So whatever, right? All right. What else you got, John?
That's all. That's all I got.
That was actually awesome. It's cool seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
I still think the Condor is weird and white. Every
too.
time I see one, I think Joe. I don't think Cobra.
Me too. Every time, never fails.
Every time. It's the only, well, other than the Snow Wolf, it's the only white vehicle Cobra did, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't.
Yeah,
recall
so-
As far
that.
as I can remember.
Yeah, weird, huh?
Well, I don't know. Not as weird as some of the stuff in the early '90s when they had like that. What was that? The rat that was like bright red and I don't know.
Yeah, some of that
It's
stuff
really
was weird.
stuff. And they seem cheaper too. I don't. Maybe it was
They
just
were.
me, but it
They
just seems
were.
like there weren't that much to them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Freeze was flimsy, already broke it the first time trying to put it in his hand.
Oh, that stinks. I didn't have any problems with mine. That's kind of crappy.
You want me to go grab him?
No, I don't. Nope, I don't. I have a giant glass cabinet in the bedroom right now. It's just full of McFarlane figures, and I found one of the ones that's got the sliding front door. It doesn't have the opening ones. So
Right.
he wants to go grab the Mr. Freeze that's all the way over on the other end of the shelf from the side that it opens on. No, I don't think I want you in there, actually.
It is.
Be like bowling for dollars. Just knock them all over and then pick him up. It would be easier, I think.
Yes.
It's hey, look, I brought the Mr. Freeze and his gun's still intact. Unfortunately, there's about 5 other figures that broke in half in there.
Right. Underneath $600 worth of broken tempered glass. So, yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
Okay, well, look out there.
Tired of-
Come here.
Hey, get
Come
out
here.
of here.
Jelly bean.
There's Jelly Bean. She got to be. She wants in the show.
There
What do
you
you got for us, Jelly Bean? You gonna?
go.
She gonna bring her little rat in here. She caught in there, I guess.
Oh, that's going to go get the rat, right? All right, Emmeett, say good night to everybody.
It's not that late.
Good night, Emmeett.
It's 7 o'clock. I go to bed at 10.
No. Okay. No.
Usually it's 9.
Beat it.
No.
Say good night.
No.
Say good night, Joe
No.
Bros. Good night, Joe Bros.
No.
Good night, Gracie.
If the camera goes dead in a second, I'll be right back. 2.
We fight.
Anyway. So everybody knows I recently got a flag, and I've been working on a few of the parts, dibbling dabbling. Been looking over YouTube and seeing what was the best way to whiten up the parts. First method I tried was bleach water. Mix it like, it says, everybody says to mix it with water. A gallon of water with 1/3 cup of bleach. Well, that didn't work very well. Kept it in there overnight. But anyway, this is what I started with. I had decided to use this piece because I've got 2 of these, and the other one is in beautiful shape. Dave gave it to me, and it's in really great shape. So after the bleach didn't work, I decided to go with the peroxide treatment, and got it. I put it peroxide. I only use the 3% peroxide that you buy from Walmart because didn't want to go too extreme at first, just trying it out. So this is what it looked like at first. Put this piece in a clear container, sealed. Put the peroxide in with it, sealed it off. Now this yellowing, during my research, I found out is a fire retardant that they put into the toys. And some of the times the toys would be mixed really high with this. It's called bromine. Would be mixed with this bromine fire retardant. And when they were mixed with less bromine, this is what causes the yellowing. The heat and sun pulls the bromine out of the toy and causes the yellowing on the outside. A lot of people say once it comes out, or once you get rid of the yellowing, it's going right back. That's not true. There's no way for this, and once it comes out of the toy, it's out. There's no way for that bromine to go back into the toy. The only thing you can do is just clean it off. So I started the peroxide treatment, put the piece into a clear container, clear lid, with 3% peroxide. Fill it all the way up until it covers the piece. If the piece floats, you may want to take a stainless steel screw or nut and put on it or in it somewhere. I didn't have to do that because once the peroxide got inside the chamber of the missile rack here, it sunk to the bottom. But that was when I first started. And the method is to put it in there and leave it in for 3 to 4 days. Well, after 1 day, this is what I had. Oh, wrong one. Wrong way, Shane. This is what it looked like after 1 day.
Oh my gosh, it turned into Destro.
Turned into Destro. This
Put
was
it back
day
in. See what
one.
else it turns into.
That was day 1 after being in the peroxide treatment. 24 hours in the peroxide, in the sun. If you don't have a really sunny spot, you're going to have to chase the sun around.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a really great spot that keeps sun all day long, so that's what I did. I brought it in, washed it off to check it. Saw what it had. Still had some yellowing, as you can see. I decided to put it back out for day 2. Day 2 rolls around. Today was day 2. And this is what it looks like on day 2. You can see there's some little, just very tiny bit of yellowing still in there. Not much, just a little. So I'll put it back out for day 3. And that will be tomorrow. And I'm sure by tomorrow it will be completely gone because it's supposed to be a 112 heat index tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is the peroxide and the heat and the rays from the sun create a reaction. And that peroxide will start pulling that yellowing out of the toy. I mean, it literally pulls it out of the toy. So there's absolutely no way that it can go back in. As you can see, that piece from day 1 is completely different. And you can see on the sides how it was yellow. I didn't take a lot of pictures of the sides, but it looks the same on the other side. It was just as yellow as it. But then day two, you can look on the side there and you see nothing. It looks fantastic. But it's an adventure. It's something that you have to stick with. You've got to, like I said, if you don't have a lot of sun, you're going to have to chase the sun.
Yep.
That's why I did it on a weekend. I started it Friday evening at 5:00, just so I could be there, because I was off Friday, and I done it so I could be there to chase that sun. But like I said, I found a spot in the yard where it stays sunny all the time, and that's where it's at. Got a question. Are you using the same peroxide? Yes, same peroxide. The chemist that I watched do these experiments, he says that you can store that peroxide back in the containers you take it out of and use it over and over and over again, because the chemical in the peroxide does not break down.
Right.
So
it's not changing the peroxide. It's drawing that other chemical out.
Yes. And the chemical the bromine chemical that's in the white parts that are turning yellow on your toys is evaporating. As the peroxide heats, it evaporates and it will just go away. So he done a lot of experiments, and I watched everything he done, and it was because he used some kind of paste he created with baking soda, and it didn't work. Then he used the bleach water, which was 1 gallon of bleach water to a 1/3 cup of bleach, and then same way you submerge it. It did nothing. So I went ahead and done the same things he did. I've not done the baking soda because it was a complete flop on his video. But you mix baking soda with water and made a paste, and then you brushed it on. It didn't work at all. It did nothing. The bleach, when I done the bleach water on this piece at first, you could see just a tiny bit. Just a very tiny bit of removal. But it wasn't dramatic like the peroxide was.
Right.
The peroxide blowed me away. And a lot of people say you got to use 90% peroxide. You got to do this. You got to buy the high dollar stuff. That's not true.
No.
I got the cheap stuff from Walmart, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, wherever, and just completely submerged it, and it works perfect. So I will be doing every piece that needs to be whitened in the peroxide treatment. I'm still going to try the Salon 40 that you guys suggested, just to see on another smaller piece I have 2 of. But right now, this peroxide has literally blown me away.
Oh yeah, man! If you got the tank and you got absolutely do the liquid. Don't mess with the cream.
Yeah. All you got to do is you can buy those clear plastic containers at Walmart for like $6. Some of them, the bigger they get, the more expensive they are.
Right. Yeah.
But I've kind of measured the pieces for the flag, and they will fit into a smaller. I'll have to do them one at a time. If I wanted to do 3 or 4 at a time, I'd buy a bigger box. But then again, you've got to have more peroxide for that.
Right.
But the 3% peroxide works just as good as the 90%. If you ask me, I've looked at pictures that people use, and I've also thought about my wife. She has a bunch of grow lights because she grows plants and stuff, and they're UV rated. I've thought about using those, but I don't know if it would work as good as the sunlight in the heat, because the heat is what actually
it's the heat. Yeah,
it heats that peroxide up.
Yep.
And because once you stick your hand in there to pull the piece out, that peroxide is pretty hot.
It's pretty toasty. Yep.
And so that's.
I wonder if you used the like on aquariums for like tropical fish, they have the heater that you can put in. I wonder if you used that.
I had heard no, because it's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
But
But it doesn't. The peroxide doesn't get to like a boiling point.
No.
It just gets. You can tell once you stick your hands in, it's nice and warm. and it works. I mean, like I said, I'll show this picture again if I can get it to pull up. I've been having a little trouble with the internet around here today.
How does it do on paint though, like on action figures and stuff?
Actually, I have a frostbite, an extra frostbite that I'm going to try and see. I don't know, but I mean, like I said, I have an extra, and he's just a beater. His legs are loose, his arms are loose, so I'm going to try that and see.
I did an ace last week, and I have to tell you, a lot of the red on the front of him that was painted is kind of pinkish now. You got to be careful with the colored parts. I mean, it still works, believe it or not, but man, you got to pay attention because it can get some really nasty swirl marks in it.
Yeah,
I'd stick with the white stuff. I don't know.
I watched a guy do a couple of stormtroopers, vintage stormtroopers. Yep. He done a couple of those, and it didn't affect the black on it at all.
Right.
I think it's going to be more or less your reds, your oranges, stuff like that it may affect, if anything. Yeah. But as far as the white, and I don't know about the black because it didn't affect it on the stormtroopers. So I'm gonna try one. I'll keep you guys updated on it.
Sure. Absolutely.
I was wondering like that storm shadow because it.
Yes.
The salon took the white around his eyes off him, and it did.
Did you get it on the eyes when you brushed it on?
Yeah, I covered the whole thing. I brushed it on.
Yeah, well, that's probably why it done that.
Yeah.
But the peroxide isn't supposed to affect the paint.
No.
It's supposed to just pull that bromine chemical out.
Right.
That's worked its way to the surface.
And to tell you the truth, it may be pulling that chemical right out through the paint, and that's why it's damaging the paint.
It might be.
I mean, it may be bringing some of the pigment right out of the paint with it. I don't know that much about it. I know I did my flag. I've done a couple of Terradromes. I've done, 3 Sky Strikers. Yeah. I did a headquarters, believe it or not, and it took that gold copper color right out of that plastic. It went right back to gray, which it's really cool to watch it on the colored stuff, but man, some of it is just you might as well get ready to paint some of them when you're done because you kind of wish you'd left them alone. Corey asked that question: if you up the percentage, would it cut your time in half? The answer to that is no.
No, not at all.
No, it doesn't. My understanding is, I think Shane's too. It's just it takes time to draw that stuff up out of that plastic. You can't really speed it up.
Yes, it's the heat over a period of time because that's how the bromine comes out of the plastic to begin with. Now, if you're lucky enough to get a piece of Storm Shadow or a flag or a Sky Striker that's beautiful, more than likely you've got one that had a higher mix of bromine in it because the higher mix of the bromine, the whiter it stays for a longer period of time.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because it's weird because it doesn't ease out as quickly, from my understanding from the chemist guy. It's a great video. The guy on YouTube, I can't remember his name, wish I would have remembered it, but he had millions of views on this.
Yeah. And I think Shane will agree. If we watch the same video, this idea that somehow this was going to damage the plastic because technically you're changing the chemical composition of the plastic by drawing the bromine out of it. So there were people out there who were going, oh, no, you'll damage the plastic. There is absolutely no evidence of that being true either. It does not make it more brittle. It doesn't make it more soft.
You're technically not drawing the bromine out. If the yellow is already there,
it's already out.
Bromine is already out of the piece, so you can't pull it out. There's no way, if it's in that piece of plastic, there's no way you can pull it out.
Right.
I mean, because why would you even dip it into peroxide if it's not yellow?
Exactly.
There's no reason to do the process unless it's yellow, and that yellow is bromine that has come out of the plastic over time.
Right.
But like I said, the higher percentage. Now the guy said, 90% bromine, 80% bromine will probably never come out of one of these pieces.
Right.
Probably never.
Right.
because it's such a thick percentage. It stays in the plastic.
Yep.
It's the lower content of bromine that comes out and causes that yellowing.
And
it's
that's
different.
why you see some pieces that are terribly damaged.
Yep.
And others not a spot,
Exactly.
because the Chinese mixed it right every once in a while. And that's not being sarcastic. Most of the time they weren't regulating.
No,
They just
there wasn't.
It wasn't as right. I mean, they had to put it in there, and they didn't care how much they did or
No.
didn't most of the time.
It's kind of like me and John was talking about his work. They put a chemical into the glass, right?
Right.
And so much of it causes a different effect as opposed to a little.
Sure.
It's the same method.
Yep. It's really cool. You guys, you know what? For not a lot of money, you can experiment with this. With some of your older stuff, and I find it fun to watch, because some of these pieces will change in 2 hours and they're done. Some of them take days. It's really kind of cool.
I was finding myself waking up at, this weekend. I get up every morning at 5 o'clock, get ready for work, leave work. But I was finding myself this weekend at 5 o'clock getting up, wanting to go outside and look at it. And I'm like, oh, so cool, because the process was so quick.
Yeah.
Once it started, and I was, done the bleach, like I said, done the bleach water, and I was like, I'm kind of disappointed. But after I hit that peroxide kick the first day, I'm convinced the peroxide bath is the way to go.
I agree. And that's something I want to get set up for. Yeah.
Number one, you don't have, with the Salon 40, you have to wear gloves.
Oh, it'll burn you up.
Because it will burn your skin.
Yep.
And you have to keep it off of the bottom. You have to keep, if you're using a bag, you have to keep the bag off of it. You have to make sure there's nothing touching it. With a peroxide dip, you just fill up a container and drop it in it. Make sure it stays on the bottom. And even if it's flat and it's touching the bottom of the container, that peroxide still gets under it. And it does the same thing, creates the reaction.
It's really
but in order, if your part's floating, you got to have stainless steel nuts or bolts. They got to be stainless steel. You just can't throw a nut or bolt in there, just any typical nut or bolt. They got to be stainless steel, because that peroxide will eat the other stuff up.
And then you got an anode, which can discolor your plastic. So yeah.
But it has to be stainless steel. It cannot be anything other than stainless steel. But it's a fascinating process. It really blew my mind at how quickly it did. I've thought about doing this before with other things I have, but just never really got around to it. But after this, everything's getting it. Every weekend, something's going into the container.
Well, this coming week will be a good week, because it's going to be hot.
Hot. Yeah.
We're going to have the heat.
Yep. Hot.
And it's quick and easy to do. I mean, you just buy your peroxide. I'm going to try to find somewhere, maybe some medical place that I can buy gallons of it.
Amazon will sell it too.
Will they?
Yep.
There's a couple of medical places around here that will do that. So I want to buy gallons, a few gallons.
Yep.
They don't use peroxide in making any drugs, do they? Because Shane will end up in jail.
Like Breaking Bad. Phil Campbell, Breaking Bad.
Whenever COVID hit, my wife, being a nurse and everything, she was buying up peroxide left and right, getting ready for the battle to come.
Yep.
It worked. It's a great process, easy process. Wasn't hard at all to do. And like I said, I'm leaving her out there for one more day. It'll be day 3. I'm excited to see, because it just had just a little bit of yellowing still. And it was mainly like down in, and what I like about it, it gets down in the very small cracks and crevices. Because, I mean, you think with a brush, you're going to have to make sure you get it down in those little small areas. Like, let me show this picture again if I can get it to pull up. Just 1 second. It may take it a second to pull up. There it is. If you can see, let me see if I can zoom in on that. That little area right there, that little curved hose. And down in this little hole area here, you can see my cursor for my mouse.
Yep.
That little area, that would be a booger to get down, but you can see there's just a slight yellow tint to it there. But from where it started, it's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, this is where we started. Look at that.
See, and it's funny if you look at that piece right there, right? You got high spots, you got low spots.
Exactly.
If this was just UV damage, like people claim it is, it's just sunlight that did that. That discoloration would be uniform all over the top of that piece.
Like right here on this triangle looking
exactly
piece.
Right. That's a perfect example.
Or right here on this
right there. Right.
Next part, yeah.
Right. Light doesn't go around corners. That whole thing would be that exact same color. It's this bromine or bromine chemical.
Yeah, and you can see it's areas of it where it's not nothing.
Yeah, because there wasn't any there.
If you see it looks dirty.
Right.
But I cleaned this piece and put it into a bleach bath before this picture was taken.
Right.
This was after the bleach bath.
Nothing.
So it was clean, but you can see that bromine. That's it. That stuff is all bromine, and it's terrible. But now it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, it fascinates me. I've always loved science, and this was definitely a awesome thing for me to try out and do. It really blowed me away.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Let's see.
Now, I will say this. I think it's fair. If you've done this to anything, I think it's fair if you ever do decide to sell it to disclose that it's had.
Oh yes, very much so.
But
it will never be so.
Just because, I mean, we gotta be consistent about this stuff, right? I mean, if you put Toy Hacks decals on it, you should tell somebody.
Yep. I will be ordered. The decals are gonna have to come off.
Yeah, they have to.
I don't see any other way around it.
There isn't. To tell you the truth, Shane, I think they'll come off anyways. I know the cream will take them off anyways. Just some gooby gone when you're cleaning it real good. Get rid of them. I hate to be, but just get rid of them. If you have to, if it needs the treatment, you're going to end up discolored underneath the decals anyways. So just get rid of them.
Oh yeah, I'm going to take them off. I wonder
people that want original decals on their vehicles, eventually they're going to look horrible, or they're going to come off.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
The only time my pieces will be sold is when I die. That will be up to my wife and my son,
right,
or my grandchildren, whichever,
right.
Whatever's here when I'm gone.
Yep.
I would definitely make sure they tell people that. But yeah, it's a fascinating process. I love.
They'll stick a sign up out in the yard. G.I. Joe stuff, $10. Come get it.
I don't doubt
it right there, right? Yeah.
Well, by the end,
they're going to sell it so cheap, nobody's going to care for it.
Well, everything may be that cheap by then. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
So we just want this junk out of here. Come get it.
Somebody will get a deal.
Or maybe not. You know what?
Have it all buried with me.
The grandbabies or whatever, they may just hang out onto it. You never know. Just never know.
Just be buried in the shipping container. Just fill it
up. Bury me in the shipping container with everything. But next week I'll have. I'm going to do that frostbite, like I said, this next coming week, and I'll have him to show, and I'll finish this process with this one here. Now the figures, they say that you just use a mason jar because
that's what I've heard.
Whatever you want it to be airtight.
Yeah,
it's got to be airtight, and with a mason jar, once you seal that sucker, it's tight.
Yep, and it won't blow up on you like a plastic container might blow up on you.
Well, Corey, I don't plan on kicking the bucket anytime soon. So,
would you like some pickled eggs, some pickled sausage, some pickled G.I. Joes?
Yeah.
I also watched the video where a guy talked about using cleaning vinegar to do them also, but I don't know about that.
You know what? plastic is porous enough. I don't know about vinegar. I don't know if you get that smell out.
I don't think you will get the smell out.
I think if you even did use it, it'd be the same result as bleach.
Seems so, doesn't it? Well, maybe there's a chemical reaction, but I wouldn't want the stink.
Yeah.
When I done those screens from that Scarlet, I could smell vinegar on my fingers for 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, can you like a 7.5 foot pickle sitting in the middle of this room with that flag? No, I don't think so. No.
Everybody walk in. Hey, look at woo! What is that?
Oh, the pickles! Woo.
But for anybody that's watching and they're thinking about peroxiding or whitening any vehicle that's white, gray, go ahead and do it. Peroxide is the way.
I could see it been a lot easier on the figure because that storm shadow, I took it completely apart.
Yeah.
Laid it and had to flip it over and all that. And it'd be much better if you just drop it in there and let it go.
Yeah. I haven't done the peroxide. I've done the cream. I've done the cream a lot of times. But like I said, in the sunlight, the bag actually puffs up from the fumes. So, but you have to flip the bag. About every half hour, you got to flip the bag to keep the plastic from touching the side too long. And it's a lot of work with the cream.
Yeah.
You chase it.
I'm trying to flip it over and keep all the parts because they'll roll around.
Because that cream turns into a vapor inside that bag. Yes. But man, that stuff is so slimy inside there that it's just. If I had the fish tanks and everything, I'd have done exactly what Shane did.
That's another thing. The peroxide is nothing.
Right.
There's no smell. There's no reaction to your skin or anything like that. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Corey, we will equally distribute your collection amongst the three of us.
It would be if you could just get a big aquarium and put, if you could hook up the tanning bed lights all the way around it.
Here's the thing about the aquarium though, with the peroxide, it needs to be airtight.
It's got to seal it,
because it's got to keep the heat in. I don't know how you would actually keep air.
I don't know.
Unless you put some kind of plastic over the top of it, like saran wrap or something to keep that.
I was going to say, if you can surround it with bulbs from a tanning bed, they put off heat, So you got your UV rays with heat.
I watched the video
and it would be all the way around it, so you're getting all sides.
I watched a video where a guy used an aquarium and he took the UV LED strip lights.
Yeah.
He run it all the way around the aquarium and then over the top of it, and then he wrapped aluminum foil around the whole aquarium to create that light just in the aquarium. And his worked a little bit, but it wasn't great.
How did it heat it though? I mean, how did it get the heat?
The LED UV lights put off just enough heat to
the terrarium lights, right? Terrarium,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But why do that when you got the sun?
Yeah, I know, it's free.
Let the sun do the heat. No electricity. Just let the sun do all the work.
I was just thinking that way you get the UV light all the way around it.
Yeah. See, that was it with the peroxide. It's the chemical in the peroxide that helps take that bromine. It's a lot easier. It's not the light. It's that chemical heating up and pulling that stuff off.
Right.
Because the bromine's already out of it. You just can't scrub it off. You can't wash it off. It's got to be that because the peroxide pulls it out.
Because that's what I was thinking at Full Circle Toys. She just had an aquarium with just some UV lights on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she had any kind of heating device or anything on it. So I don't know. Maybe the heat's more for the Salon 40 than it is the peroxide.
Yeah, that could be because the Salon 40 needs to vaporize for it to work. Yeah. Those have to be sealed. They have to be sealed in a bag. Mm-hmm. The bigger flag pots and the Terradrome pots, I had to make bags with clear plastic because, believe it or not, the clear trash bags didn't work as well. They're not quite clear enough. So
because I don't even think she had a lid on that aquarium. I think it was just open. It was just full of peroxide.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Unless she had something else in there with it. I don't know. Maybe she had something else in there with it.
I don't know.
Maybe so.
I'll have to ask her next time.
I'll have to ask her when we have her on.
Yeah.
Because
nice.
That's something that if the UV lights will work, I've already got a ton of those. My wife has them downstairs in our basement, so it would work great. But watching that scientist do all these experiments, and he was a toy collector too. That's why I really enjoyed his video, because he was using his own.
It is cool.
He was using his own personal collection to do these experiments on, and they were working perfect.
So here's an idea, and I think I already know the answer to it. And I'm not trying to step on Shane's toes here, but just to give you an idea. Snowcat windshield. This is normally blue-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one is discolored badly with the bromine, right? Bromine. The same with the shark. These have been treated. It did absolutely nothing.
With a salon.
Yeah. So I'm not sure this process works on clear plastics. I don't see any evidence of it. It certainly isn't going to return this back to blue.
Try the peroxide.
I might. I'm curious because I'm curious. This one's broken, so I got nothing to lose. But as you can see, this one's bad.
Right.
And whatever tinting there was is long gone. So
right. Yeah, I would definitely try the peroxide on that.
I think I will. Maybe I'll get a couple mason jars and toss these in and see what they do. Yeah. Report back later. Interesting. I think I will try that. Think I will.
Corey, you can buy grow lights all day long.
Now a lot of people have them now.
If the law hasn't kicked our door in yet, they're not going to.
Well, they're not for this stuff, anyways. I mean,
what are you using the grow lights for? Toys, man. It's just toys.
Yep. Anyways, let's change the subject. Nice. Thanks, Shane.
Yeah, man.
It's a cool experiment.
It was. I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
It is cool, isn't it? So restoring stuff is cool. I think because so much of this stuff has been thrown away in the past, and you know what? It really didn't need to be.
It was fantastic.
You know, I've seen people actually take like the straight arms with broken thumbs and actually put a post in there and put the thumb back on it and paint it, and you couldn't tell it was ever broken. It's pretty amazing what some people can do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we've said this before, guys. We're getting to a point where whether it's yellowed or not, this stuff is getting brittle in a lot of cases, and we are going to run out of pristine parts. So if there are ways to make decent repairs that are functional and bring it back to put some life back into it, we're going to really start thinking about that, because this pristine stuff is going to get more and more expensive, and there's going to be less and less of it every day, because we were joking earlier about John handling those toys. You know what? There's guys in America every day that pick something up and it doesn't go back down pristine.
No.
So, you know what? If we can do something to keep this stuff around, I think we should. I really do. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I know this fire retardant hasn't been required in plastics for a long, long time.
That's why you don't see the newer figures doing this.
Right. But now they talk about the inner packaging being corrosive to the plastics.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what some of this stuff does in 40 years. And you know what? Maybe somewhere we'll figure out a way to restore that too. I don't know.
I know I do have a couple, I know I got a Cobra Commander from the, I think, Valor versus Venom line that you can tell the blue is yellowed or darkened. And I mean, so I know something was going on with some of those figures from the Spy Troop Valor versus Venom era. That I have 2 or 3 of them that's yellowed, or kind of, it's like the plastic's discolored now. I wouldn't say it's yellowed. It's just it's some of the blue
right.
things like that. It's just, right. And I'm wondering if that's I don't know what I mean. I've had them pretty much I wouldn't say climate control. They have got cold during the winter, but during the summer, I try to keep air on out in my toy house or man cave, and it don't get real hot, and with the air conditioner, it's got kind of a built-in humidifier, so it don't get real humid.
Right. And
I've had them out, and I've got them in those little cases, the little cases you see people shows selling loose figures in those little cases. That's kind of what I've kept them in, or in the Plano fishing tackle box cases. So they hadn't been in the package with the original insert.
Right,
so I don't know what made them yellow. I mean, or discolored.
I don't know.
But I may try. I'm thinking about maybe trying the peroxide on them just to see, or the Salon 41 just to see what happens.
Right.
Corey asked this question about the headlight cleaner for clear plastics. It's a different problem with the headlights. Headlights is condensation buildup.
Yeah, if you're talking about if Corey's wondering if that would clean the yellow off of these, no, because it's still part of the plastic. You need the chemical react. You can't sand this off. And that's what most headlight cleaners are, an abrasive. So they're taking contaminants off the surface and they're smoothing the surface so that it refracts light clearly.
Right.
These, no, I don't believe so.
I've also seen people use WD-40 on headlights and off bug spray on headlights.
Yep.
Because it's got something in it that will pull that water out of the plastic, and it's what it is. It's a buildup of condensation.
Yeah.
And when that condensation inside the light gets dirt in it, it causes it to get dirty.
And that might make sense. WD-40 is water dispersant formula 40.
Right.
That's why people use it on arthritis, because it will actually draw the inflammation out of your joints.
Exactly.
Because it's a water dispersant. It's hydrophobic.
Right.
Jeez, we're getting way too freaking smart tonight. I mean,
that's what happens when I
talk about in years.
What happens when I do research on the internet?
Jeez, I don't know, man. This is crazy. I
thought about everything.
It's like,
because I'd heard of using, WD-40 and the off and stuff on things. I thought, well, I wonder if that would pull that bromine off. So I started doing the research, and everything I saw said nothing worked real well with that except for a peroxide. And even the Salon 40 is a peroxide based.
It is. Oh yeah,
a product.
Yep.
So
it's 40% peroxide.
Right.
Yep. That's where it gets in. You can go up to 60%, I guess, but I don't know as I'd mess with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if this stuff is 3%, it works. Why go higher? The higher you get on percentage, the more expensive it is. So,
okay, so here's the deal. Somebody want to do an experiment on the other end of this? Let's do this. I have heard that for the clear plastic stuff that's got the scratches in it and everything else for toys, Meguiar's headlight repair kit. Walmart has it for like $17. It doesn't have the big drill head and all that other stuff. If anybody wants to find a piece of junk that is all scratched up or whatever, go spend the $17-18. Do it, and we'll put you on the show and you can show us how you made out, because I would rather have you spend the $17 and have it not work than me. So so if one of you guys want to try that, you can be a star for a night and show us what you do with nuclear plastic. How's that? Oh, look at I can hear them now. There's a herd of them running to Walmart to buy Meguiar's right now, just so they can be on this podcast.
I'm sold on the peroxide.
Nice. Good job.
It just amazed me how it got down every little hole.
It is cool. Yeah,
it's awesome.
It is cool.
I'm really excited about what tomorrow brings for it, because it did have just a little yellowish tint. So tomorrow I'm betting it's going to be just as.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, Shane, I can tell you from pieces of both the Terradrome, the Sky Strikers, and the Flag. I had them as white as I thought they could get. And I have to tell you, even a few days later, after being out and cleaned and assembled, they were still whitening.
Oh, yeah.
That chemical reaction was still happening with them back in the house, sitting on the shelf and almost completely put back together. So it's
that was with the Salon 40, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
It's very cool. I mean, it's just cool. It's just cool. I think
that was, the guy, he used Salon 40 and on some of the things, and he said the only thing he didn't like about it whitened really well, but the only thing he didn't like was the babysitting of the product.
It's a mess, and it is babysitting. Yeah,
he was constantly turning it to get it into the sun, flipping it over. And he said, if you've got big pieces in a container, you've got to go put gloves on, go out there and flip it over. He said because the time he went out and grabbed, the first time he done, he grabbed it bare hand. And the time he got back in the house, his hands were burning.
Oh yeah, no, I got all burned to crap on mine because I wouldn't put the
Yeah.
gloves on. Not every half hour. I'm not going to do that, so I got all burned up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's but it's cool, man. It's worth it.
Oh yeah, it worked.
It's really cool.
Anybody wondering, Sally's, you can get the peroxide. I mean the Salon 40 at Sally.
Yeah, and
It's
it's cheap.
about
It's under
12
$20.
Yeah, it's about, I think it was $12 I saw.
Yeah, something like that.
And they don't look at you weird for coming in there and buying it.
I was gonna send the wife in.
I went into the one over in Gadsden over by the Walmart over there, and I told her, I said, I'm getting this to White and Toys. I guess that's kind of weird. And she said, no, we get hunters in here all the time. I said, hunters? She said, yeah. Apparently they put them on horns and stuff.
Oh yeah, that
bleach
makes
them
sense, doesn't it?
She said they sell a bunch of it to hunters, so
Yes.
she wasn't shocked at all when I
Taxidermists use it. Taxidermists use it to bleach the horns.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or the
So
skull.
you can,
When
Yeah,
they do a
skulls,
European
wow.
mount, they use it to bleach that skull.
Oh, that makes sense, doesn't it?
yeah, the skulls are, yeah. So you don't have to feel awkward about going into Sally's and
Yeah.
beauty supply place to get it because I mean they're used to
Hunters go in all the time with their rifles and buy it.
That's very cool.
You dare somebody to laugh at them.
Nice.
It's a great process.
Very, very cool. So, what do you think? We're going to move on? You want to move on? Do something different?
Yeah.
All right.
On to Mr. Dave.
Let's do this. I want to do this first. And you know what? And it's going to be brief. But I don't know why, but I got sucked into this stupid video yesterday, I think it was, from that guy that lives over on that island with his little tattoo buddy, right? The plane. He was talking about the new rock and roll figure, and this guy is getting whinier by the day. But this one, you know what? This one was so typically Canadian that I really have to point it out. He made a reference to rock and roll's machine gun being ribbon fed. Now, dummy, this is a ribbon. This is a belt. There's a pretty big difference. I know it's hard to point it out to some of you Canadians, but good Lord, man, get your stuff straight. If you're going to go on the internet, demand viewers and whine about something for a half an hour, at least get it straight. Ribbon fed. That one just burned me. I'm sorry. I had to say that because I really don't. The more that guy is on, the less I understand why anybody pays any attention to him.
The same reason you was watching just to see what stupid thing.
You know what? Yeah, because you know what? He caught me off guard. It was slow, and he's got those classic headlines, right? Well, huge update. I think he said huge update from Hasbro. There wasn't no huge update from Hasbro. It was, jeez, man. At least the kid wasn't on there. That's good. I'd rather have my kid on than his kid anyway. But man, I don't. That one really burned me. Anyways,
Dax told him it was a ribbon.
Exactly. Dax is the kid's name. Yeah, exactly. Dax. Anyways, my kid knows the difference between a ribbon and a belt. Jeez. Haven't been able to do much with my Vietnam snake eyes yet, and I will tell you why. And I think this is going to kind of be my project of the week for a while. Because I had a specific thing on back order from Big Bad Toy Store. And it finally came in this week. And then I turned around and ordered the other one that I need for the complete project. But we'll talk about that next week. But Big Bad Toy Store. This is an M60 from this Biohazard Death Island. It's basically Resident Evil.
Right.
Weapons packs for Resident Evil, and this is the Tomy Tech. These are cool little model kits, and there's like 5 pages of them, believe it or not. This is an M60. which Snake Eyes carried in Vietnam. And as you can see, these are actually little model kits,
Oh, wow.
which is actually cool because if you see here on the back of the package, you got two barrels. Like that. You got two barrels, tripod up, tripod down, which is cool. The top cover opens so you can simulate servicing the weapon.
You put your ribbon in.
Put my ribbon in, yep. And it actually comes with 3 ribbons. Look, ribbons. Ribbons. Which is kind of cool because this one's a little short feeder. What, maybe 8 rounds. This one is a regular feed, there's 50 or 60 rounds here. This is this long one. The cool thing about this is this loops back on itself to create a chest bandolier, right? So you can put it on the figure. When I bought the head at Joe Fest, I bought this bandolier, this resin bandolier. It looks okay on the figure, but you can tell this thing is super thick and it's got to be painted and everything else. This one is going to work just fine, not to mention the fact it can come off and feed into the weapon, which is actually very, very cool. So this one will be done by next week, and I'll be able to show it to you. And then I will show you the second one that's going to be part of this diorama that I'm actually going to build, this Snake Eyes diorama. And then we'll kind of talk about what that's going to look like. But anyways, Big Bad Toy Store, like I said, they finally came in stock. I waited, I'm going to say 2 months before these came into stock. Was this cheap? No. Not exactly proud to say it, but by the time I got done paying shipping and tax, this was $30, $32, $33. That's a lot, but for what I'm doing, it was worth it to me. Most of the kits for the small, regular rifles, some heavy battle rifles, other machine guns, sub guns, stuff like that, they're in the $20 range, which isn't terrible. They make a bunch of revolver kits, which is very cool, like distinguished service revolvers and like that. Would be great for like Tunnel Rat. So check it out if you're into the custom stuff, and go from there. Is it accurate? Yeah, it's very accurate. It's an M60 straight from Saco Defense. So awesome. So we're going to talk about that some more. What body did you use for the Nam Snake Eye and the head sculpt? The head sculpt came from one of the vendors at
Big Head Studios.
Big Head Studios. Thank you. The body is actually Falcon. Once his boonie head is painted, I will repaint this uniform. It's pretty close. It's pretty close for what we're doing here. For a Vietnam era uniform, it's good, right? And of course that head is tear off worthy anyway. So I didn't feel bad at all about tearing that Falcon head off of this figure.
It would have made a great disfigured Snake Eyes, though.
Well, it could have been, right? Take a match, little soldering iron. The cool thing is Big Head Studios also has a disfigured Snake Eyes head, which I do have, which will kind of play into this diorama. Excuse me, my ear is killing me. Yep. Dax gave Chuckles a 5 out of 10. That's why Canada has child abuse. Yeah, well, no comment. I've made fun of him enough for tonight. So yeah, I mean, they're resin. You have to be careful with them. They're brittle, but that's where I got the head, and that's where the body came from. So, cool, right? So that's my project, and we'll keep you kind of posted on that over the next few weeks, and then I'm going to move on to a bigger project before. I think I'm going to try to get together with Shane and kind of coordinate a larger project at some point in time in the future. And I think he already knows what I'm talking about because we kind of mentioned it last weekend. So we'll see. We'll see. But I wanted to read you guys this and kind of have a discussion about it. This is a story I read today from the Toy Book. It's a web page, and it was written by James Zahn, which I don't think is the same James Zahn that was the Star Wars author. But I wanted to read this to you so you guys can think about this. And there's a couple of things that I want to point out in this, at least one, anyways. Hasbro's recent sale of E1 film and TV business isn't slowing the company's content aspirations. The toy and game giant revealed the newly appointed leadership team of Hasbro Entertainment, a division focused on, quote, leveraging Hasbro's most valuable brands to develop and produce premium content across platforms for audience of all ages, end quote. The new division unites the company's film, TV, animation, and digital media departments under one umbrella as the company continues to execute its Blueprint 2.0 strategy to invest in its priority brands. Okay. Hasbro Entertainment is led by a trio of former E1 execs, including Oliver Dumont as presidents, with Zev Foreman and Gabriel Morano serving as head of film and head of television, respectively. Dumont previously led family brands at E1, while both Foreman and Morano were primarily focused on projects inspired by Hasbro intellectual property during their time at the studio. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to stop right there for a minute. I don't exactly think that Hasbro can claim that these people are newly appointed leadership if they were the same leadership was the head of the division that was doing the same thing that they just sold so that they can turn around and restart another division to do the same thing with the same people. That strikes me as a little strange and not particularly encouraging. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand if we're kind of being told that Hasbro's off to a new fresh start here, right? With this brand new company because we sold the old one, and you just turn around and put the exact same people in the exact same positions, but just call it a different company. How that's progress. I'll end this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this quote, then we can talk about it. This quote: entertainment. You stop and listen to what I'm saying, and I think you're going to hear Emily's voice over the last 12 months, right? Entertainment is core to Hasbro's strategy and its mission to entertain and connect generations of fans through the wonder of storytelling. Sound familiar, guys?
Mm-hmm.
And exhilaration of play. Audiences could count on Hasbro to keep creating compelling and fun entertainment that brings to life our wide array of iconic brands, including Peppa Pig, My Little Pony, and Transformers, reaching audiences through varied platforms in ways that resonate today in this fast-paced world. And that's Tim Kilpin, President, Toy Licensing and Entertainment, Hasbro. As of this writing, Hasbro Entertainment is actively developing and producing more than 30 projects inspired by priority brands. Priority brands, including G.I. Joe, Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons, Nerf, Play-Doh, Magic the Gathering, Peppa Pig, My Little Pony, and more. The company's upcoming slate includes live action's Dungeons and Dragons series for Paramount Plus, and next year's Transformers 1, directed by Academy Award winner Josh Cooley and starring Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth, and John Hamm.
So they're redoing Transformers 1, right?
Well, okay, let me ask you this, and I'll wear my ignorance on my sleeve. What is Transformers 1? Is this animated? Is this live action? Is this a storyline from an old timeline? What is it? Or is it new?
My thought first when you said it was they're just going to redo the first Transformer movie. It was
maybe, right? Part one, right?
Part one of the Transformer movie. But that was, I mean, I don't know, man. It just kind of sounds kind of weird to me.
Chris Hemsworth's going to be Shia LaBeouf, and Scarlett Johansson's going to take Megan Fox's place. Is that what?
Well, maybe they'll be the goofy parents, and a couple of other kid actors will just that'd be kind of goofy, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know, guys. Man, this just seems to be more of the same nonsense that we as potential consumers for this stuff get fed. That, oh no, trust us, it's different. Oh, it's new, it's flashy, but it's not, because it's the same people. Transformers Generation 1. Boy, that's an interesting thought, isn't it?
So, Tim, is that going to be like a different storyline, or just jumping back to Gen 1? Would be
He's got a question mark there, so I'm not sure he knows. I think he's throwing a guess.
Yeah, me neither, man. That's why I'm wondering if he may know more, or I don't know, because it sounds weird to me.
You know, the thing I didn't understand about like the movies. So in the movies, they just scan a different vehicle and they can automatically transform into that vehicle.
Right.
And like Optimus Prime in, what was it, the third or fourth one, where he was nearly completely destroyed, all beat up, and then he scans us, and then all of a sudden now he's all brand new.
Right.
But why did they need Ratchet?
Yeah, right.
Never mind. I'll just scan into the vehicle and transform into that, and then all of a sudden I'm brand new. I did like, you know, in the old cartoon and in the comic book, you know, they crashed on Earth, and the computer, you know, scanned vehicles flying around, and they and redesigned them into that, but they were always the same thing. They never changed into other vehicles. Optimus Prime was always the same red transfer truck, and Bumblebee was always a Volkswagen Beetle, and they didn't. That made more sense. Now, how Megatron could be a handgun and then a 20-foot tall robot, you know, when it transforms, that I still ain't figured out.
See, this is the thing. Timothy, I'm hoping it's a throwback to the original origins stories of the Gen 1 Transformers. I hate to say this, but this is going to be so heavily tied to the Skybound comic book that if you do get a retelling of the Transformers origin, it's going to be so heavily tied to G.I. Joe and vice versa that I'm not sure you're going to be able to separate the two anymore.
Right.
Which I'm not keen on, guys. I'm just not. Look, I get it. You know, we got a crossover here and there through the comic pages, right? Over 15 years. That was okay, right? It's a little bit of an oddity. You can just write it off as an alternate timeline and go about your life. I don't see the two properties being anywhere near as compatible as Hasbro wants them to be. I just don't. Not without each of them losing a whole lot. Oh, jeez.
The Autobot Union.
Autobot Union, yeah.
Gotta have a medic.
Well, local 101. I don't know, man. I don't find this hopeful. And you know, this, like I said, we've been hearing this storytelling from Emily for over a year now. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure all of us were 100% at ease with that. And now you're looking at it like, I think they're going to ball this all up. And I mean, for all we know, Peppa Pig's going to join the Arashikage at this point in time. And, you know, I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm not sure I'd put much past them, really. I mean, I don't know. Not that I know a thing about it, because I don't, other than the fact that it's ridiculously successful. Go ahead.
What the crap is Peppa Pig?
It's an English cartoon of a family of pigs. It's a weird English cartoon with a little girl.
A little pig that speaks with a British accent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Patrick Stewart is one of them. It's huge in Europe. I mean, all the big English actors are voice actors in this Peppa Pig cartoon. It's really kind of weird.
The toys don't translate well, though, because in the cartoon, both his eyes are always on the same side of his head. But when they do the toys, you got them, you know, like...
They don't look anything like them.
You know,
it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. I don't know, man.
They have the steel still Pony Brigade with My Little Ponies.
Yeah, right. See, he was right. That's where the ribbons come in. With My Little Pony, the ribbon-fed guns that Sparkle Pony and the rest of them have. Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. I think they're gonna pooch this. I just got that feeling that they're gonna pooch this up so bad that it'll be another 20 years.
If I was sitting there thinking, of course I hadn't seen the newest Fast and Furious movie, Fast 10. I hadn't watched it yet, but I was sitting there thinking if they would just go back and remake those movies, dress Vin Diesel as Duke and replace all the cars with Vamps and Mobats, you'd have a good G.I. Joe movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It'd be action packed for sure.
But I just couldn't see Vin Diesel with blonde hair.
I can't see him in any hair.
No.
But hey, what was it? Caparzo? He was in Saving Private Ryan. He did a great job in that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Caparzo.
So
I don't know. To me, it's just same stuff.
That's what I'm getting at too, Shane. It's just like, how can you possibly say all new and improved when it's the exact same people? You just moved them from one company to another.
Right. It's kind of like people with businesses, small businesses. Their business tanks, so they close that business, but then open up another business, do the same thing with just a different name.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've supposedly had a triple A G.I. Joe video game coming for years.
Vin Diesel probably would make a good Zartan.
That might not be bad, right?
I
hadn't thought about that. He probably would.
I always thought Russell Crowe would make a good Zartan. He's an Australian too, before he got all before he got all middle-aged and heavy. He made a really good Zartan.
Post a thing of stars that would be great for a movie. The people he picked was fantastic.
Hmm.
I'm gonna see if I can't find that again, but he had them down pat. I think
they had a mock-up that I think was actually Hasbro done a mock-up back right before the movie. It was before the movie came out. It was in 2007 that had some of the Joes, and I remember like Jennifer Gardner was Scarlet. It was a drawing though. You could tell it was Jennifer Gardner.
Sure.
I can't remember who the other characters on the shirt was. But it looked like a really cool cast, and I think that may be who they were planning for the G.I. Joe movie. But then they ended up with all the ones that they ended up with. I guess it didn't pan out the way they was expecting or something. I don't know. I think they had a good start on it, but just something happened between planning and production, and everything changed.
Yeah. I've seen this over and over and over again. This John Cena as Duke. I don't see it, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't see it.
John Cena is more like gung ho, but I don't know.
John Cena is a mountain of a human being. He doesn't scream Duke to me.
I would think Chris Hemsworth for Duke before John Cena, just because John Cena's balding really quickly. He slung his hat off. I saw a video the other day. He slung his hat off, and you couldn't see nothing. Well, you can't see me because his bald spot was so bright.
This is weird. This was easier 20 years ago when we actually had real movie stars, wasn't it? Because most of these guys are just, I'm
gonna find that guy had posted, and we'll look over them pictures next week. Because he had the cast down really, really well. There wasn't maybe a few that I would have disagreed with on his post, but I just had to find where it was at, what group it was in, But it was almost perfect.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, but he's still a great big sucker.
He is.
I have to
make any accusations of him using steroids.
Yeah, he's a really large individual. most career Army men are not bodybuilders.
No.
They're just not. You know what?
Yeah.
I remember my recruiter for the Marine Corps. He always said, "Yo, you're going to be perfect." And I always thought I was a skinny little kid and it wasn't going to work out great. And he says, "Oh no," he says, "we get the football players coming in here and everything." He says, "I can tell you right now, they're the first guys that get shot because no one wants to get into hand-to-hand with them."
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? That actually makes kind of sense, doesn't it? Because
Exactly.
so no, I mean, from a military standpoint, I'm looking at that going, you know what? I don't think.
Well,
I don't
you
think
think
John
back
Cena's the
about
man.
it. The only real muscle built Joes you had was Gung Ho and Roadblock.
And they made sense.
Yeah. Flint, Duke,
Yeah.
Alpine, just rock and roll.
Well,
None of this was
Bazooka.
really-
Bazooka was a big individual too, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
because
None
they
of the
happen,
others
right? It's the
were really
military. It's
huge.
pretty diverse, but
To me, a good bazooka would be what's his name from the sheriff on Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
David Arbor,
Harbor,
yeah.
Arbor.
He
Yeah.
I kind of picture him as the way bazooka, the build.
And for me, whenever I think about Roadblock, instantly I think of Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews would be a good roadblock.
Because I mean he's got that humor about him.
Yeah, I
I can
agree.
see him making these off the wall rhymes,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
Roadblock does. He would be fantastic for
Yeah.
Roadblock.
I always thought Duncan. What was his name? Of course,
Michael
he
Clark
passed.
Duncan.
Yeah, I always thought he would make a good roadblock.
Yeah,
He
would
was
have.
so
Yeah.
huge though, man.
Yeah.
He's a big
That was
dude.
huge.
Hey, let me clarify something real quick. I didn't get to join the Marine Corps, so if anybody wants to I'm not doing the stolen valor thing. That didn't work out for me. So let's make that clear. But no, I remember my recruiter telling me that though, and it made sense at the time. But just to be clear, I did not make it into the Marine Corps. But anyways, boy, I'm trying to think. You want to my honest opinion, Snake Eyes is easy, right?
Oh yeah, I mean
He's easy. If you got somebody with skills, Ray Park could probably still do it, and he's 60 years old.
Yeah.
He's a highly skilled individual.
yes.
Um,
Every time I think about Snake Eyes, I'm thinking Ray Park.
yeah, 'cause
Fantastic.
he's just
I mean,
fantastic.
His martial arts skill is just crazy.
Right. I mean, I guess you know what? If you're gonna go back to the beginning, you're talking about a relatively young cast. I mean, hands down, Duke is the oldest of them, but you're still only talking about a man in his mid-30s, maybe late 30s.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, if he could act, he's a big
Yeah.
sucker too.
I mean, what acting skills does he have though? That would be the problem.
Well, that's the hard thing.
You know,
It's not. It's
To be a Roadblock, you got to be able to be funny,
you do.
get them rhymes out.
You do.
In my opinion,
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
off the wall.
you could be a
Jumbo.
bazooka. If they wanted to go the comic book route, you could be a bazooka. You could be a real meathead and be bazooka and get away with it, right?
Right.
Yeah, man.
I could see John Cena being Bazooka because he plays a really dumb part all the time.
Can you see John Cena with dark hair and a big old cheesy mustache?
Yeah,
I mean,
I could actually, because he was in some movie. He Lashley may have military experience, but he ain't got acting experience though. That's the only problem.
Ray Park has been blacklisted now for what?
I don't know about all that.
What is this, cancel culture crap?
Probably so. He's a great martial artist. That's all that I know.
No, I didn't hear anything about him being blacklisted.
Me either.
I hadn't either.
I thought that stuff was kind of over, but maybe not. I don't know, man.
A lot of them are getting blacklisted nowadays, I guess.
I got to tell you, though, this would have been casting a good G.I. Joe movie would have been easier 20, 25 years ago when we actually had, because most of these guys, most of our celebrities now are reality stars and metrosexuals, and they don't scream, Black Ops. They don't scream Spec Ops guys.
I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Uncommon Valor.
Yes.
That would have been a great starting for a Joe movie. with all them guys. Because think about it, they all play fantastic parts.
Mm.
If
It's
you've
true.
not seen that movie, I suggest you look that movie up and watch it. It's about a man that puts together a crew to go back and get his son out of Vietnam. And they're all friends of his son that was in Vietnam. To me, it was a fantastic movie.
If they do another live action G.I. Joe movie, I wish they would go back and because they've done it with the Transformers. Bumblebee took place in the 80s.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that with G.I. Joe? Make it take place in the 80s.
You could. Blacklisted for posting an inappropriate video online. Didn't hear anything about that one, I guess.
No. That's a new one to me.
Boy, if that's the case, then 90% of them should be blacklisted because most of the crap they post online is inappropriate, if you ask me.
95% of the videos you see now, music videos, are blacklisted material to me. Jason Statham would make a good Snake Eyes. I don't
see it. I don't see it. I
And what's
mean, he's a good scrapper. He's not a ninja.
Now Zartan, he might be good for Zartan.
You know what? Yeah, he'd make a good Zartan, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he would.
Because most people couldn't tell the difference between an Australian and a English accent, anyways.
Yeah.
No.
And he's about the right age because Zartan is a lot older.
Yeah. I would just want to see a movie with more dreadnoughts in it. You know, Buzzer, Ripper, Monkey Wrench, Torch, Zorana, Xandar. You know, that would be great to have those in a movie.
Yeah.
Instead of just Zartan, over and over as Zartan. Hey, you know who would make a great Destro? You guys are probably going to call me nuts, but I think Mel Gibson would make a great Destro.
I think you may be on right there, you know.
I think he would.
He made a good villain. What was it, Expendables 3? He was the villain in it, right?
Yeah. Bradley Cooper make a good Duke? I don't know, man. He did that A-Team movie, remember?
Yeah.
He didn't come across as believable as Face. Not to me, anyways.
Me neither. He was good now. He was good, but yeah, he made Bradley Cooper.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe as a Falcon. Something like that.
The dude who played Sub-Zero. I didn't see that one, so I guess I don't know who that is.
I think what's his name? One of the main characters or the main military guy in the first two Transformers movies.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bradley Cooper playing Chris Kyle.
Oh, what the heck? I know who you're talking about. What the heck is that guy's name? He was married to Fergie, right?
And he's got a little more.
Josh. What? Josh.
Josh starts with a D.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. The dude that played Sub-Zero.
He did play Chris Kyle, yeah. He did a good job as Chris Kyle.
He did do a good job as Chris Kyle. So
with his age on him now, he might make a decent Duke or
maybe
possibly Hawk.
I'm thinking
because he's 10 years older now than he was when Transformers or 14 years older.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Hawk has got that. I have to be perfectly honest with you. They're one of the best castings I've seen in a long time. I love Bruce Willis as Joe Colton.
Oh, yes.
I think that was absolutely perfect.
I really like Dennis Quaid as Hawk.
He did good. He did good. With what he had to work with, he did pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I could see Matthew McConaughey as Duke. All right. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, right.
Joe.
The juggler's on the computer, right? We got to take Cobra Holiday. All right.
Just kidding.
Getting his link in.
Now he would have in his earlier days, maybe when he was in his mid-20s, he probably would have made a good cross country.
Yeah.
I feel cross country is one we will never see in a Joe movie.
Probably not. Yeah, but you know what? You could see Beachhead.
Yeah.
Boy,
Oh,
you
definitely.
you could have Beachhead. So,
No doubt.
That's interesting. Boy,
That's the guy who played as the Flash and anything.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah,
100%.
no, I don't think
Yeah.
we're in any danger of that happening.
Yeah.
Interesting. Man, there's a few actors out there, but I guess I don't know. That little news bit, I'm just not hopeful, guys. I just don't understand the mentality. You put the same people back in charge of the same stuff.
Right.
It didn't work. It worked so great before you have to sell it,
Mhm.
right?
I mean,
And then you turn around and you put the same people back in the same
Right.
jobs, just call it a different thing. It's like,
Yep.
you know,
a
seriously.
failing business with the same people does not work twice.
just right, because they learned their lesson, right? No, they didn't. They weren't even punished for anything. They got the same jobs. They probably didn't even miss a vacation day.
No,
You know?
probably everything probably just rolled right over to what they had before.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I saw. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but the first few panels of the GI Joe book for Hammer's 301 run was released by Skybound today. I don't go check it out. It's all over Facebook, anyways. The artwork looks amazing, but there's no Transformers in it yet. I can tell you right now, it's just making me nervous. That I still think they're giving Larry Hama 12 issues to tie up the last 40 years out of respect. But that's a separate timeline from this other thing that they got going on. This with the Duke and the Cobra Commander one shots kicked that off later this year in the first of the year. I think that's going to be so heavily tied into this Void Rivals / Transformers / Dutch thing that they've got going on. I think they're going to make a hot mess out of it.
I'm 3 issues into Void Rivals, and I see no way they can tie that 4-issue series into G.I. Joe at all. None. I don't see it. Transformers, yes.
Sure.
G.I. Joe, I just don't see it.
I don't know, man. I don't either.
And I'm correct that it's only going to be 4 issues, right?
Just 4 issues. Void Rivals is 4 issues.
I've read all the first 3. 4th issue is going to have to be huge, and it's going to have to contain a lot of content to tie anything into G.I. Joe.
I'm not
Anything.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that story is going. We haven't gotten together to get issue 3 yet, but I finished issue 2 the other day. I don't see where it's going. It's an interesting story enough on its own, I suppose.
Yeah.
But this is not, like you said, this is not screaming Transformers, G.I. Joe, crossover universe.
I can see them tying into Transformer, but that's just as far as I can go with that.
Yeah. Yeah, since Kevin Conroy died, Mr. Hamill has retired that voice. He has said so. He's not going to. That's it. There won't be anything coming out of his face that sounds even remotely like that voice anymore. Which those two were very close friends for a number of years.
Yeah, but I can see him being a Cobra Commander.
He's got a pretty good range of voice, but you know what? You can put anybody in that helmet and have anybody do the voice. It's no different than Vader. So
anybody with a slur.
So yeah, you could
drag the messes.
You could have. There's a lot of talented people that could do a good Cobra Commander voice.
Oh yeah.
And just leave him as a mystery. We didn't need the backstory.
No. And it was a stupid backstory.
It really was pretty terrible.
I mean, completely stupid.
Yeah,
stupid
it was.
backstory.
It really was. So, 9:02. We got like 15 seconds left before they come looking for money. Gentlemen, another interesting episode.
Yes, sir.
We still got stuff planned, guys. It's just making it all happen is the difficult part.
Mm-hmm.
because believe it or not, end of summer is a busy time for a lot of us with work, and it definitely gets busy with kids because it's time for school and extracurricular stuff. So trying to get caught up is difficult. We do plan on trying to meet up on the 12th.
12th September. No.
Sand Mountain. It's
Sand
September,
Mountain,
yeah.
yes.
So there's that. As a heads up, don't have the details yet, but a while back we mentioned that there is an extra signed by Larry Hama print of Stalker, Tommy, and Snake Eyes in Vietnam with a Huey in the background and stuff. We will show it again next week. That is going to be tied into a giveaway for our toy drive. We've kind of decided we'd like to do a Christmas toy drive for kids that are least fortunate. So start thinking about buying some toys. And you know what? Little girls are in foster care too. It's not just boys.
Yes.
So start thinking about accumulating some toys, and we're going to figure out a way to tie giving away that print, that signed Larry Hama print, to somebody somehow that donates toys to this toy drive that we're going to do. Christmas is going to be on us fast. So we will probably do, like Nancy said, get in touch with some of the state agencies that handles kids in foster care. If by any chance we should have an overflow, the Marines Toys for Tots right here in Birmingham would be more than happy to take donations. So keep that in mind. Start thinking about when you're cruising. You see stuff on clearance, it's cool. The little kids would be good.
Stuff on clearance right now.
Tons of awesome stuff on clearance.
Now's a good time to get it.
Yep. So if you want a shot,
Christmas, the better the clearance is going to look too.
Right. So as it looks right now, I think what we will do is we are going to start collecting toys for our toy drive. We're going to start hopefully talking to some of our shops around to maybe have some boxes out or something. We're going to try to get this sewed up in the next couple of weeks as to what we're going to do specifically. But if you want a chance to win that print, get ready to donate some toys to a toy drive for the Alabama Toy Mercs is going to host. Okay, makes sense?
Yes, the first ever Sand Mountain Collectors Con is September 16th and the 17th.
16th and 17th. Very good.
That's
and we will plan on a get-together to get all of our toys together and donated sometime around the 1st of November. That'll we will work
Saturday and Sunday.
Yes. And we will plan on being there Saturday, right?
Yes, Saturday will be.
Yep.
Shane, you better get a move on. You better go pick up Corey and y'all go make rounds hitting up Walmart finding Peppa Pig toys.
I don't even know what Peppa Pig looks like. I'm about to look at the picture. I know he's British.
It's the next big thing coming. G.I. Peppa Pig.
G.I. Pig. G.I. Pig. Yeah, Peppa. Sergeant Pepper. Sergeant Pepper. Sergeant Peppa Pig. All right, you guys.
If you're in Alabama, look us up on Facebook. Alabama Toy Mercs. Love to have you in the group. Check us out on YouTube. Bama Toy Mercs on YouTube.
Was that a launch or did something just connect? That must have come from John. You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
It sounded like a missile launch.
Oh, I don't know. Nancy pulled a chair across the floor. Maybe
it sounded just. You got to go back and watch that. It sounded just like you just launched a missile from the back. Those cows out there launching ICBMs again. Jeez. Okay, guys, go find something to do for the next 7 days, would you? We'll be back. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.